legislation to restrict the individual right of U.S. citizens as protected by the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution. Whereas the right of the people to keep and bear arms is guaranteed as an individual right under the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution and under the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And whereas the right of the people to keep and bear arms for defense of life, liberty, and property is regarded as an inalienable right by the people of Bureau County, Illinois. And whereas the people of Bureau County, Illinois derive economic benefit from all safe forms of firearms recreation, hunting, and shooting conducted within Bureau County, using all types of firearms allowable under the United States Constitution. Whereas the Bureau County Board, being elected to represent the people of Bureau County and being duly sworn by their oath of office to uphold the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. Whereas the Illinois House of Representatives and the Illinois Senate, being elected by the people of the State of Illinois and being duly sworn by their oath of office to uphold the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. And whereas the Governor of Illinois, being elected to represent the people of the State of Illinois and being duly sworn by the oath of office to uphold the United States Constitution and the Constitution of the State of Illinois. Whereas House Bill 5471 would infringe the right to keep and bear arms of the individual citizens of Bureau County, Illinois, for defense of life, liberty, and property, and would ban the purchase, possession, and use of firearms and accessories now employed for safe forms of firearms recreation, hunting, and shooting conducted within Bureau County. Whereas House Bill 5471 violates inter alia the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms of the United States Constitution. Now therefore it be and is hereby resolved that the people of Bureau County, Illinois do hereby not support House Bill 5471 or any legislation that would inter alia infringe upon the right of the people to keep and bear arms, and consider such laws to be unconstitutional and beyond lawful legislative authority. Be it further resolved that the Bureau County Board requests that Illinois General Assembly cease further actions restricting the rights of the people to keep and bear arms, and hereby requests that the Governor of Illinois veto all such legislation which restrict the rights of the people to keep and bear arms. Be it further resolved that the Bureau County Board does not support the enforcement of House Bill 5471 or any other similar legislation that would infringe upon the rights of the people to keep and bear arms, and consider such laws to be unconstitutional and beyond lawful legislative authority. That is what the resolution that is in front of us reads. This resolution is coming to the full board with no recommendation from the committee.
I want to make a motion that we support this resolution.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Mrs. Hughes.
Any discussion? Any discussion?
Can I make a comment? I am on the law committee and was not able to be there, and I would have voted in favor of moving this resolution forward if I had been present.
The other discussion I just want to have is, first and foremost, I want to thank, I want to thank everybody that came out tonight, and wonderful speeches by the citizens. Definitely shows that we are involved in our government. This is how we move forward, is by getting everyone involved. I can't say anything that wasn't already said, but I do want to say thanks to our sheriff and state's attorney for this, and then also our board members for supporting this.
Yeah. Before we do a roll call vote, the state's attorney has a message for the board members.
One of the things I was asked to do with regards to this is see if there was any potential liability towards the county. So I reached out to our insurance provider, SERMA, spoke to their legal counsel, sent them a copy of the proposed resolution to see if they had any concerns regarding liability, and they did. So as the state's attorney, it's my obligation to let the board members know about that. Their concern is the board as a public body going forward, being in opposition to this, any inference that could come out of the resolution if it was passed, that the county is not going to follow the law or not going to enforce the law, could possibly cause liability for the county for claims if something happened in relation to a weapon having to do with this law. More specifically, if it was deemed that some sort of claim was made against the county having to do with this law, with the resolution, if it was in effect, that if it was an intentional act, then there could not be any coverage at all for the county. Their stance was this is currently being challenged on the constitutional nature of it. It's going through the court system, and it's going to resolve itself one way or the other in the court system to be determined if it is constitutional or not. So the risk of the resolution, in their opinion, passing the resolution, which is not gonna have an effect on the constitutionality of it, versus passing it and opening the county up to potential claims and liability, that was their stance. So it's my obligation to bring that to the board's attention. I also wanna comment, I don't know if I heard it wrong, when one of the county board members was speaking. I believe it was said that the state's attorney has said that he will not enforce this law. If I heard that correctly, I'm duty bound to say that is not true. I took an oath as an attorney and as the state's attorney to follow the law. My personal thoughts of that aside, so I wanna make it clear to the board members, if that's what was said, that I am not gonna enforce this law and I'm not gonna follow this law, that is not true. So I needed to make that clear for everybody as my oath and my ethics as an attorney.
I mean, there's no case law out there that states that this county cannot be held liable for that?
This is what CIRMA relayed to me, their concerns about liability, and I'm just relaying it to the board members for the vote.
I'm sure there's plenty of case law out there that would shoot that down. I mean, I don't know, you're an attorney, I'm not. You know, the city of Highland Park in 2013, they passed a resolution banning these type of assault weapons in their community. And the board passed that, and they weren't found liable.
Well, they had red flag laws, and they knew the kid was a danger, and didn't enforce it.
Yeah, I mean, there's laws in the books that should be enforced, and we should stand behind our police department. I mean, I'm not saying that these crazies out there should get their hands on these guns, but they shouldn't restrict the law-abiding citizens of Bureau County. You know, like he said, there's red flag laws out there. You know, you got, yeah, and you got these people on the south side and the west side of Chicago just blowing off arms like crazy, killing each other. What is the state doing about that? Absolutely nothing. You know, I mean, how can Bureau County be found liable, but all these gun crimes are going on all over the place? That's just crazy in my view.
I'd like to add
I'm
to the
sorry,
gentleman.
we're up for a vote now.
Can I make two just quick comments? That's really interesting. I appreciate all that information. You do have to look at the whole picture. I totally get that. But number one, you could sue anybody for anything. But it's another thing to actually win that lawsuit. And then number two, Mr. Marini, he was making a valid point. What are the odds of that ever even happening here? A shooting like that? The two that happened in the last, since 2016, he said was 2. And the rest of them were all suicides.
They said that. That's in Michigan last night, too.
I yield.
Okay, moving on, roll call vote.
Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Argubright.
Nay.
Mr. Barrett-Conny.
Yes.
Mr. Kane.
Yes.
Mr. Floyd.
Yes.
Mrs. Hughes.
Yes, 100%.
Ms. Lilly.
Yes.
Mrs. Marini,
No.
Mr. McCook,
Yes.
Mrs. Novotny,
Yes.
Mrs. Stetson,
Yes.
Mr. Whited,
Yes.
Mrs. Entwistle.
Yes. $11 to 2, the motion is passed.